Hi guys, Remake here, and today we're going to be doing some more Beyblade Burst Rivals. This is video number 3 of the 5 videos that I do for every game, and you know the usual, just multiplayer, see if we can increase our rating, because, well, I mean, I never really pay attention to the rating in Beyblade, I just kind of do it for the boxes, you know, for resources at bays and all that stuff. But let's see. Let's set a target for maybe how long. Oh gosh, that's loud. Sorry, I was just watching one of my earlier videos, like for tips on like to see if I should raise and lower the volume, and it definitely seems to me I should raise the volume. So it's gonna be like this now. Okay, let's just go through all this. Oh, by the way, these rewards I'm collecting right now, this is just stuff that I build up over time in my inventory, if you will. Cause like mainly what goes in the inventory is boxes that you have yet to open. Like right now, I'm opening one box, and I have 2 others that I can open right now since I got them from the Bay Pass. And speaking of which, these 3 Bay Passes that I all have access to, they give me like rewards daily, like the Bay Academy, the Gold Pass, and the Platinum Pass. Like they all cost gems to activate, but if you have enough, it can be pretty good. And you know what? I'll include getting a box, like the box match for each video, since like our boxes help greatly in the progression of this game. So oh yeah, by the way, I've been able to get Valchek's avatar now, which I think is pretty nice. Let's switch back to the other preset because I'm doing these matches. It's like, if you don't already know, I already have these 3 bays at max. Oh wait, one thing. Meaning that I don't need to upgrade them any further. Let's check on the, let's see. Like, what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to upgrade the 3 bays that I have, which are from the latest season of bays in this game. These are the these are what's called gamma bays, because Beyblade not only has a anime series, but also the manga, and well, obviously the toys and these games. So and with each season of Beyblade, the bays they get better. So right now there's 5 seasons. The 6th season has been announced soon. I don't know the exact details of it, but it looks pretty cool from what I do know. Anyways, I'll say that later. So basically, Beyblade started out as being made of plastic, and there were like a couple seasons of that, and then they switched to metal, which is far superior. And of course, they're still metal. They're still made of metal to this day. They were only just the original bays were just one big mass. They weren't actually made of parts. It was just one thing all put together. So after switching to metal, there was like a few seasons, and then we got the burst generation, like the double layer generation, if you will. And this is this coincides with the very first season of Beyblade Burst, which showcases these Beyblades made of 3 parts, which I've already explained to you: the chassis, the middle ring, and the outer ring, and the driver. And they were nicknamed Burst actually because, well, they burst because that's exactly what they did. If you were able to hit it hard enough, it would burst open. And so yeah, we started off with the double layer season, which is the very first season of Beyblade. And then the second season we got the evolution bays, or the god bays, if you watch the Japanese version. And these were basically just upgraded double layers. And then after that we got the turbo bays, or the Cho-Z bays. And then afterwards we got the gamma bays, which I don't know the Japanese equivalent. Oh, the GT base. Oh yeah, GT base. And then after that we have the lightning base, or the Super King or Sparking base. Like everything in Beyblade has 2 names, because, well, like there's the Japanese version of the manga. And then there's the translated US version. So that's why everything has 2 names. Like all the bays, all the avatars of the characters, and the seasons. And what I'm doing here right now is I'm just doing this tournament. Like tournaments appear from time to time, and they can give you like lots of rewards, including boxes. I mean, even though they're not the best boxes in the world, they are boxes nonetheless. And it's a nice like kind of side sort of thing. In fact, this is also when all the new Beyblades debut. For instance, when the Gamma Bays, when they were first released, they came to a tournament where we could get boxes for them, and that's how I got my 3 Gamma Bays. Okay, just gotta watch this ad, so I'll put the sound off. Just ignore that. I'll just talk through it. And right now there's a stamina tournament. Like they do tournaments every. I don't know the timestamp for it, but they do tournaments every so often. And as I said, they're just a little side quest kind of thing that you could do. Just to pass time, just to like get some extra boxes. It doesn't really help you out much, but it does help to fill in for things if you don't really have much to do in the game, which happens a lot. Hold on, I need to change something for my like. As I was saying though, like this game, it doesn't really have much content. Like if you're in my position, for instance, where you've completed all 4 chapters of Career, you've got lots of bays and avatars and characters. Like, really, at that point, all you'd be doing is just trying to get all the characters and max them out. Well, get everything and max it out. I mean, that's what I'm doing right now. Like, my goal is to max out everything in the game. So all the bladers, all the bays, and all the avatars. And slowly but surely I'm making progress. I mean, I've gotten quite a few bladers maxed. Not a lot of bays maxed, since that takes the longest amount of time. But and as for avatars, I've got a few maxed as well. I mean, of course, it's going to take a while to get everything maxed out, because I mean, the easiest way to max out a base to get is to like get boxes, and then hopefully hopefully you can get a 5-star bay from the box. So, because if you do, then all you have to do is just upgrade it to level 40, and that's it. But even if you got a 5-star bay and started upgrading it, like that would still take a while because the upgrades are very expensive for one, and it also takes a lot of battles to actually gain enough experience, or which is basically what XP stands for, if you didn't know. But yeah, it takes a lot of battles to get all the XP that you need to get your bay ready to upgrade. So like, it's a lot of hard work. But if you have the time and, well, the stamina and the perseverance, you would be able to do it. It's definitely not impossible. It's definitely not impossible. It is possible. It just takes a while. But I'm willing to stick around until I've maxed out everything. Anyways, I've gone off on a real tangent here. Well, as I was saying, going back to the bays, yeah, so you got the latest bays of the sparking bays, or the lightning bays. I really can't tell you in detail how each bay works, but I'll try my best. So, like, the plastic ones, I already said, they're just one mass, they're not made of parts. They switched to metal, which were much better, but they're basically the same. And then it stayed that that's just one part, stayed as one mass for a while, just with the chassis, just with getting better, like more upgraded and stuff. And then we've got the burst bays, or the double layers. It's like these ones before, they were called the single layers. So we got the double layers, which are made of 3 parts. They were much better because they can increase, and then you can increase the size of the bays, and you can also customize them as well. What Takara Tomy did, or Takara as they were known back then, was they basically copied what Pokemon were doing, because Pokemon had their first boom around the time Beyblade was a thing. Like, they basically copied what Pokemon did and made the base customizable. And that brought in and that really helped for the popularity of Beyblade. So now the Beyblades were customizable, lots of people started playing with them a lot more often, which is pretty good. And then we got the next series of bays, the Evolution series. I'm going to stick to some of names. And as I said before, these are just upgraded double layers. Like, all the parts got better. And this is also where the concept of spin stealing was first made. And spin stealing, essentially what happens is when a Beyblade uses its counterclockwise spinning Beyblades are not very common, but the ones that are in production, or are available, is what I meant to say, can do spin stealing, because they can use the momentum of the opponent's Beyblade. Well, if it's counterclockwise Beyblade, which it usually is, to gain momentum. whilst their opponent loses momentum. And this was displayed really well in the anime when Frida La Jolla, in one of the first few episodes, what he did was he launched his Beyblade with his hand against Volt, who had Genesis Valtryek, and he had Drain Fafnir, and Volt thought he had it in the bag, and that Free was just way too overconfident. But then as Valtryek started hitting Fafnir, Fafnir started speeding up, and Valtryek started slowing down. And that's basically the concept of spin stealing in a nutshell. So yeah, spin stealing was invented in series 2, with the Burst series, and it's still a very, very popular technique or concept that Bays use. Anyways, moving on, then we move on to season 3, which is the Burst, which is the Turbo series. Once again, I'm just going to use the object and okay. Once again, these are basically just upgraded bays, but another new concept was introduced, called burst stoppers, and only 3 Beyblades in the entire season had used this system. Turbo Valtryek, Turbo Spryzen, and Turbo Achilles. And basically, how these worked was that if you launched the Beyblade hard enough, these little thingies would pop out, and cover up the lock system so that it doesn't move. And this worked really, really well in real life, because it made these turbo bays pretty difficult to burst. Unfortunately, though, they were discontinued for some reason. Probably because, like, if that system was continued, then it would make Beyblades become way too OP. But anyways. So then in season 4, we got the Gamma Bays, which I like to call like the chunky bays, because these Beyblades had such massive drivers. Like, they were designed in such a way, like they were designed to be kind of like in a sort of a a semisphere shape. Cause like, I guess that could be useful in the sense that the bay could just roll. If it tilted over, it would just roll on the side of the driver and just and only lose a bit of momentum. But I mean, it would make the base super heavy. Apart from that, I don't really know what else they introduced. Like, if you want to go into like technical details, watch like, I don't know, Beyblade Geeks or Left Burst or something like that, because they know more about Beyblades than I do, like way more. Anyway, so that's that, and then season 5 we have the Lightning Bays, which are like the biggest bays that we've had so far. I forgot to mention, in season 4, the Gamma Bays actually introduced a couple new things to Beyblade, including the infinite lock system, which basically makes the Beyblade chassis kind of free spinning. What I mean is that usually a Beyblade has like 5 locks before it bursts. Like when you fit it together, you have to it clicks like 5 times before it's completely like before it's properly assembled, and these clicks are called locks. So what some bays had, what one bay had, whose name I've forgotten for some reason. So what it had was that it basically had infinite locks, but of course there has to be a weakness, because otherwise like it would be way too OP, and of course there has to you don't want a bay that one has to be way too OP, because then everyone's just gonna get that bay. So this weakness is that there's this one specific point that you have to hit the Beyblade on, in order for the chassis to get pushed inwards and burst the bay. But even then, this point is so small to hit, and you have to have such extreme force. You have to use such force to hit it, and the lock system must be perfectly lined up. So it's not much of a weakness, to be honest, which means that this infinite lock Beyblade is basically unburstable. And then also there was another one called the well, I forgot what it's called, but basically what it does is that, well, this system was implemented on a bay called Heaven Pegasus, which is a stamina type, and basically how it worked was that on the last lock, when the bay is on its last lock, it has two little sort of wings, which protrude outwards, and if the opponent bay hits these wings, then the lock system gets reset. Now, obviously, this is a very good idea, but it would have worked and it would have worked really well on Heaven Pegasus if the wings weren't so tiny. Like they're so small and so and so difficult to hit that Heaven Pegasus gets burst easily in real life. Like in the anime, of course, they can make it seem like they're so difficult. It's so difficult not to hit the wings, but really they should have made Takara Tomy should have made the wings bigger, so that the system would actually do its job more better. Anyways, moving on back to the Lightning Bays. These just introduced a new driver called the Limit Break driver. I think it is. There are only 2 bays that come with this driver as standard, and they're called King Helios, which is a balance type, and Super Hyperion, which is a attack type. And these 2 bays are actually the bays of the main characters of the series, Hikaru and Hyuga, who of course are brothers. And this driver is actually pretty good. Like it's kind of it's not really round. It's not really very round, but it's got like these like kind of spike thingies that I guess help the bay to probably speed up or something. Well, I don't know, but it looks cool. Is all I can say. Well, the problem with this Hasbro, because like I remember when I said there's 2 names for everything, and that's like the Japanese names and the translated names. So the Japanese names come from Takara Tomy, and the translators from Hasbro. Not only that, but Hasbro actually makes the base on their own as well. Like the 2 companies basically, well, they said they've paired up, and they both do this Beyblade thing together. But really, it's kind of Takara Tomy who does all the work, and Hasbro just kind of copies them and profits off of it. So obviously they've both produced their own versions of the Beyblades in the anime, and it's pretty obvious that Takara Tomy does it much better than Hasbro, because I mean obviously they're the creators of the of the whole thing, so obviously they have more experience than Hasbro, and Hasbro are just kind of trying to. Well, it kind of seems to me that they're just quite trying to get it done as quickly as possible, because let's just take these two bays, King Helios and Super Hyperion, as two examples. Not only do Takara Tomy's bays actually look better because they've actually paid attention to detail and done all the little accents and highlights and kind of creases and all that stuff into their Beyblades, but also their design much better, because the way Hasbro have done it, it just kind of looks like they copied and pasted. Well, they copied the version of Takara Tomy and then just made it more. Well, to be honest, it kind of looks like sort of Play-Doh or something. Like it's definitely not. It's definitely not very similar to the ones in the anime. And also their design is much worse, because Takara Tomy made the base low sitting, but Hasbro did the opposite, and they made them quite tall, and that's obvious, and that's not a good idea, because that makes them much more unstable. Like being low sitting gives them more balance, and they can actually use more force on the stadium to get more speed. I think. But because the Hasbro blades are so tall, that makes them easy to knock over, because, well, all the weight is at the top, so they're very top heavy. So yeah, that's why Takara Tomy is inspired by Beyblade from Takara Tomy, then from Hasbro. I mean, sure they help us out in terms of the anime, but with the actual Beyblades, they haven't done well at all. How long is this video? 20. Oh wow. Okay, well, I guess it's time to end. Like, subscribe, comment, all that YouTuber stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one. This was just a long episode of me. Look, this episode was just me ranting about how Beyblades are much better done by Takara Tomy and all that stuff. It's not very much actual explanation of the gameplay going on here, but well, I'll try and shorten it down next time, but I can't make any promises. And also, speaking of next time, I'm decided that I'll probably do videos on weekends, since, well, you probably realize that I never do them during weekdays, and that's due to school. I mean, I do them on Mondays. I don't know why, but I just do them, but for some reason I don't do it on the other days, so it's just kind of weird. But anyways, I'll mainly be releasing videos on the weekends, unless it's like a holiday. So yeah, bye.